Greetings and welcome to Scam Takedown Task Force, a channel dedicated to finding scams on social media platforms and taking them down. I'm the CEO Dan, and today I hope to teach you how to identify scams. If by the end of this you've learned something, please don't be afraid to like and subscribe. And unlike the scams that this task force tackles, I hope that this is something that you wouldn't mind sharing with your friends. The scam that I've chosen for today ticks a lot of boxes on the scam dar. Now, it might be very easy for an avid internet user like myself to identify this, but even though you and I might be able to identify it easily, that doesn't mean that everyone can. So the very first thing that I look at is the name of the page. An all lowercase name is typically a red flag. The next red flag is a very well-known individual without a blue check mark. If we go to the Ellen DeGeneres page, you'll notice that her name has the blue check mark. But while we're looking at the name, there's another interesting thing. If we take a closer look at the E in the page's name, we can notice that it is a bit bolder than the rest of the name. The page is using what is known as a symbol. This particular one just happens to look like a lowercase e, but it is a way for them, in their minds, to get around Facebook security. And maybe it works. The page is still up after all. Now I'm sure many of you have already noticed the next part. The next thing that I look at is the last post that they have made. In this case, it was a video from something Ellen DeGeneres actually did. It was really her, and she really said the things she said in the video. Not about giving any money away, mind you. Scammers will use real videos they download from the actual celebrities they are imitating in order to trick you into thinking that the page is real. Don't fall for that. Now the text of the post, and boy is this a doozy. If you're reading anything on the internet and the very first thing it says is, "It is not a fraud," leave that page and go somewhere else. Such a bad scam because it not only throws that red flag, but it uses fraud, when most English speakers I know would call it a scam. That is because most of these scams are created in countries that have a basic grasp on the English language. And that becomes even more evident the deeper you go into this post. Punctuation is all over the place. Capitalization is right out the window. If we use a legitimate post from the real Ellen DeGeneres page, we can see that all of the words are spelled correctly, punctuation is in the correct location, and the words are properly capitalized. The last part of the post is likely going to break a lot of hearts, but it needs to be said. If it's too good to be true, it probably is. If Ellen was going to give away that money, she wouldn't do it on a random page that she just created on whim to give away the money. It would be done through her actual social media channels. She would not create a page specifically for this, and if she did, it would be very easy to identify and verify that information. Another thing to note is that this is the only thing on the page. If you go to a page on Facebook and the only post that's there is just a post about giving away money or cars or whatever else, is probably a scam. In fact, I'm going to just say it is absolutely a scam. But let's just pretend all of that slipped through the scam door. The next place I check is the small section to the right known as page transparency. Scams will typically have pages that have been created within the last few months. However, this one in particular was created a long while ago. When looking at the actual page, we notice that the real page has been around for much longer though. Back to the page transparency, if we click on See More, it will bring us to the summary page where we can see some basic information about the page. When this page was created in 2015, it had the name Sans Sasanto Cistern Yashaki. Sans Sasanto Cistern Yashaki. Going to page history at the top, we can see a breakdown of the page's events, and would you look at that? The same day it posted its scam post, the page changed its name to Ellen's. This is how I typically break down a scam page. There are more ways to do it, but the basics are pretty easy to remember. Check the name, punctuation, spelling. Check the last post for spelling, capitalization, punctuation, and Freudian slips that most English speakers wouldn't make. Identify too good to be true offers. They're probably fake. Check the page for name changes. Well, that is how you identify them, but what do you do with that information? As of creating this video, that page is still up 10 days after it was created. It has 1.1 thousand reactions, 1.2 thousand comments, and 4.3 thousand shares. Not exactly viral, but way more than it should be. I reported this video 3 times, and each time Facebook has come back stating that this doesn't violate any of their community standards, however, being so blatantly a scam. The same scam has been copied and pasted across all of Facebook too. There are many different pages with celebrities with slight variations of this exact scam all over the place. What's not clear is if these reactions and comments and stuff aren't just bots that maybe bought to boost up the page's ratings to get actual people, but in the end it doesn't matter, because the longer this page stays up, the more real people will be affected by it. So what can we do? We can work together as a community. I'm creating a website to catalog and keep tabs on all of the various scams that we find across the internet. Through that site, which you may already be using, you can provide the community links so that we can focus our reports and get these scams taken down. I won't be able to do this on my own. Facebook has made that abundantly clear, so this is a call to action. In order to report on Facebook, click the 3 dots, then find support or report page. Then click Scams and Fake Pages. Finally, if the scam is a level 3 threat, more on that later, click on Asking Me for Financial Information. Of course, this is specific to Facebook, but other social media platforms have similar chains to follow. I'll have more on that later. I hope you've learned something new, or perhaps this video can help teach someone you know how to identify scams. I hope you'll join me for my upcoming videos where I'll be taking terrible scams and breaking them down bit by bit to show you guys how ridiculous some of these scammers are and the lengths they're willing to go to take your money. If you would like to explore the website, even though it's under construction, you can currently submit links. I'll have that down in the description below. I have social media as well, and the Facebook page is down in the description. Don't be afraid to go and give that a like and or follow. Until next time, I've been your CO Dan, dismissed.